Hi, I'm Bryce Merkl Sasaki, and I'm here at Graph Connect Europe in London with Paul Jongsma, the founder of Webtic. So, Paul, talk to me about how you guys use Neo4j.
We use it mainly to build web solutions. So the front end, the users are seeing web pages basically, and the technical stuff is in the Neo database, where all the relations and connections are made and are presented in a page of any kind on a website.
Yeah.
So the primary goal is building websites.
Okay, great. And then why did you guys choose Neo4j? What made it stand out?
We've been building websites ever since the web started to exist. I still remember the making of Netscape version, what was it, 0.9 being, oh wow, you can do inline images now. So I've been in the business for a bit, and only recently we became involved in a project which is doing website stuff based on history education. And they came with very logical questions like, okay, we have this historical person and we want to connect it to pages about locations, to pages about certain events which happened. And it all sounded very natural. So I was happily coding away in my SQL database until a couple of moments where more data was entered and more persons were entered and more locations were entered, and it sort of started to get to become very slow and very irresponsive, and adding new stuff took forever and stuff like that. So talking to these guys and talking about the infrastructure of what the information was about, it all sounded very logical. It was only very difficult to translate into a relational world. So instead of giving up and say, oh, I don't know how to do this, find somebody else, I was sort of eager to find a solution, which did work. So I started reading about how stuff other than relational stuff existed. Well, obviously there are key value stores, blah, 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 blah. And graph databases seemed like a good solution. So I started finding projects which do graph databases. And one of them was Neo. And after trying several other options, I stick with Neo because it was very accessible and had the nice cypher language, which made me feel at home. And I was able to do stuff and be very productive.
Okay, great. And then what were maybe some of your most interesting or surprising results when using Neo4j? Like, what are some of your best moments?
Normally, one of the best things I get out of it is normally when you were talking to your customer about what was supposed to be in the site, what the site should be about, and what information should be displayed where, you always were trying to restrict it to keep the model sane. So there were technical restrictions, and I needed to restrict the customer in what they want, because the technical restrictions were there. And with Neo, the famous saying is you draw a couple of circles and you draw some lines in between and that's your model. Well, actually, that comes very close to the reality. And that restriction of, oh yeah, but sometimes it looks like this, but other times it looks like that, is no problem anymore. Instead of doing a complete redesign of your database structure, you say, oh, okay, that's fine. And you take the change and you go along.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then if you could take everything you know about Neo4j now and go back to that first project, what would you tell yourself to do differently?
Stop using relational stuff. It's quite obvious. There are still parts of that project online which are actually in a relational database, and it's an ongoing process of getting that old stuff out and get it into the new system. And even though there is it's not a real project, I can't send a bill for it. I'm still doing it in spare time, just to be able to concentrate everything in one logical platform.
Okay, cool. And then any closing thoughts, anything else you want to add or say?
Yeah, more of that. I like Neo. It's a nice environment, and there are a couple of architectural things which would be very nice. Like for instance, having the ability to switch between databases from the cypher or from any environment really. So you could host multiple projects on one machine. But apart from that, it's pretty good. And with the new version 3.0, there is another route of optimizations possible. So I'll dive into it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and it's been wonderful to talk. And yeah, I hope you're exploring Neo4j 3.0 goes well.
I hope so too.
Okay.
Thanks.